Welcome back to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services, a leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online at donahueaccountingservice.com. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former Bearcat basketball player from 1997 to 1999 under the Hall of Fame coach, my guy, Bob Huggins.
And I am Neil Meyer of the Front Office News.
And I'm JT Smith, editor-in-chief of the Front Office News.
All right, fellas, we are back for another episode. But before we jump into it, Neil, you want to dedicate this podcast?
Yeah, so obviously for people who kind of saw the news over the weekend of a social media post I put out there, I lost a great friend over the weekend who tragically took his own life. So this podcast is going to be in dedication to a good friend of mine, Miles Rucker, who obviously was somebody I've got to grow very close with over the last year and a half, and was somebody who always made a very good positive impact on society. So obviously just want to kind of spread the awareness of everybody out there dealing with mental health, and just really kind of bring light to how important mental health is in society. I think it's a big thing that really needs to be spoken on. I think all three of us on this podcast can say the same, and don't be scared. If you're struggling, there's a lot of people out there who are always going to be there to support you. Let's break the stigma of mental health, and let's attack this thing one day at a time, and let's find ways to encourage things and make it a kind of a new normal. Let's talk about the things that are struggling and let people know and make a positive impact that no matter what someone's going through, there's always going to be people out there that kind of care for them and will truly love them. So in honor of a good friend, Miles.
Yeah, well said, Neil. And, send my condolences to his family and to you. Sorry for your loss. And you said it well, man, and I don't want to dwell too much on it, but, for anybody out there that's listening that struggles with that mental health or knows people, just make sure you've got help if you need it and if you want to go get it. And here's the other thing, too, about it, Neil and JT. You think about someone that is dealing with mental health and, they take their own life. If they could see the reaction people have and the love people have for them, it's like if they could actually see it after, they've committed suicide or whatever act, and if they would see how people like love them and wish they were still here, they probably wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sucks, man. Yeah, definitely. If you're mental health, back in the day, like I guess when I was younger, it was more, you probably couldn't come out and say like, you're dealing with certain stuff. People just gonna tell you to man up, but
For sure.
It's different. People gotta take advantage of the stuff, and just like you said, Meech, people care, man, and so it sucks. So I definitely send the condolences to you and his family as well, because I can't imagine, but it's super prevalent, man. It's something that you kind of have to try to do your best to stay on top of it. I mean, nobody's perfect, so. But yeah, it's something like, me having kids, I kind of think about it more than when I was younger. So just kind of making sure you keep tabs on people, because you just never know, man. You never know. Like, always, like I have a saying I say, like, it could be worse. My wife kind of picks on me about it, but like, sometimes you hear situations and you're like, when you might be down on yourself or like down on you might be mad, but then you hear somebody else's situation and you're just like, you know what? It could be worse. God has plans. Sometimes you don't understand it, but at the same time, it's it puts stuff in perspective. How about that? It puts stuff in perspective, and you kind of have to, just keep taking one step forward every time. Sometimes you're gonna take a couple steps back, but just keep moving forward, because that's just how life is. But yeah, man. Like I said, I'm sorry to get long-winded, but yeah, if you have any doubts or need somebody to talk to, definitely reach out to people, because people care, man, end of the day.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think, too, on that topic, too, for anybody who is struggling, I know you guys might not know all of us, but all of us will be more than happy if you just need a conversation. We're pretty easy to reach out to. We'd love to make an impact on you guys. And just know, if you are struggling, send that extra text to a person you care about, or once cared about. Kind of put all the negative stuff that happened in the past and kind of just continue to be there for everyone. Let's make a positive impact on this world. I think there's enough negative stuff going on, and that's in this world the way it is. Let's try to outdo the negative things by doing something positive. So if there's any way you can make an impact on another human being, you might not know what they're going through on a day-to-day basis. So kind of take that extra step, go that extra mile and reach out. You might not know them, but it could be the start of something. You never know. So just being there, showing that we're all in this thing together, it's going to make a huge impact on society as well.
Yep. Well said, Neil and JT. And so let's jump right into it. The Bearcats are currently 17-12 after losing to Houston 64-73. This is the Bearcat game recap segment sponsored by Purple Monkey Project. JT, thoughts on the Bearcats' performance?
Well, okay. So this is going to
that was dramatic. Well, okay.
Because people are probably going to be like, all right, he's talking crazy. But at the end of the beginning of the season, this is a game that I count as a loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody could agree with us. You know, it'd have been great if they could have put off the upset. It seemed like they started off at
JT, hold on. When we got into the conference play and we made prediction, you predicted the Houston game at Houston was probably going to be a loss.
Yeah, for sure. So not being a victim of the moment because, you know, they needed to win. It makes it easier for March Madness. Being a realist, nobody expected them to beat them. I mean, if you just break it down. But what I am happy is the Bearcats, then they won the glass, competed. They didn't get this boat race, which is something that could happen at Houston. Lost by 9. I mean, it's no moral victories, of course, but at the same time, I count this as a loss anyway. So just being a realist, not trying to sugarcoat anything. I would have been sadder, is that a word, if they got 20 ball or more. So they didn't get 20 ball, kept it. I mean, Vegas had them losing by 15.5. I knew they were going to cover in my head. I was hoping they would cover, and they did. But they showed some grit, man. They showed some grit. It's some things that they probably could have done better to pull off the upset, which sucks. But at the same time, man, end of the day, 99% of the fans that if they were being realists about themselves counted as a loss from the jump.
I agree. Where'd you watch the game?
So I was watching it from my phone because my son was playing in his school tournament.
Zane?
So yeah.
How'd he do?
They won the first game, and then the game that UC was playing, they lost by 12.
Okay.
They got jumped out on, huh?
How'd he play?
He played pretty good. At the end, it was over, so he was shooting some baby Kyrie shots, but it didn't matter. But he had, I think he had 8 and a couple assists, so like it was did pretty good. Refs were terrible. Oh my God, refs were terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, they were bad for both teams, and then like at the end of the game, they were already up, so it wasn't like I was cheating. So like people like literally like the ref started, like our coach gets a tech, so it gets a tech probably in the middle of the second half. So after the tech, the ref starts calling more fouls on the other team for once.
Okay. And
then I'm calling, marking it in the book, and then they didn't mark it. So then we start arguing about the differential of fouls. So it almost went a little hairy, but nothing happened. But I was like, man, I hope I ain't gotta. I was thinking in my head, like, man, I hope I don't gotta act like this. But I don't want to act a fool in front of 10 and 11-year-olds either. But
yeah,
you know what I mean. But people be talking a little iffy. I just had to make sure they know, like, you gonna have to talk with a little. This ain't gonna be no easy dub if you cross that line, though. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know what? That's the funny thing about like youth sports. You have to be careful because you don't want to be a bad example to young people. But then when adults are talking crazy to you, it's like I'm not gonna let you talk to me like that. But at the same token, it's like we've got to be a good example to our young. You know what I mean? It's
so it's like it's a hell of a line sometimes. So people be talking a little iffy. And you be like, hold up, like that ain't about to slide, but I don't want to act a fool.
Yeah.
either, because like you got little kids and stuff, and they don't even think that's the way to go. But at the same time, as a grown man, I'm like, I'm not gonna let you just talk. Like you gonna get it back. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that almost happened, and like when it happened, I was like, bro, like y'all up. It's only a minute and 12 seconds left, bro. Like or a minute and a half. Like these free throws don't even really matter, but we here. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like they not about to make no miraculous run, bro. This ain't nobody gonna pull a Tracy McGrady and score 8 points in 30 seconds, bro. It's a wrap. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, so that almost happened, and I'm just like, bruh, like I'm like maybe I win something. We lose the game and I win, but you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Go
I'm
maybe you
glad.
win, maybe who knows? I might have got snuck. I might have got
I'm glad
slapped.
you didn't. I'm glad you didn't.
Nah, I didn't want to go viral. And it was like cameras, like the dude, it was weird, man. It was like one of the coaches was recording the game from the bench, and then he was like had the camera face. I'm like, bruh, like. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, all right, man, y'all got it. But I'm just like, you ain't about to talk crazy to me though. But yeah, my bad for getting long-winded on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
he did good though. He had a good weekend. We won one game, lost one right before the championship. So
All
first
right.
time they won with their little school team in the playoffs. So that's a
Okay.
dub.
Shout out Zane.
Yep.
All right. Shout out. Tell him I said what's up.
Yep, we'll do.
Well, Neil, your thoughts on the Bearcats performance?
Yeah, overall, I mean, I'm right there with JT. I think heading into this season, when we were breaking down this Big 12 schedule for Cincinnati, I think majority of us had this game kind of marked in as a loss for Cincinnati just because of how good Houston actually is,
Yeah.
considering they're now back-to-back Big 12 champions in their 2 years of being in the conference. That says a lot about the job Kelvin Sampson has done and the job that he has done with the recruiting aspect and getting his squad ready to make that transition, and continues to show why he's one of the best coaches in all of college basketball. But it's also the fact Houston is very good at home, and that is a prime example of why they were 15-point favorites heading into this matchup. But overall, I think it would have been – I thought Cincinnati played very well. I like the intensity they came out with early. They jumped out to, what was it, a 10-2 lead or a 12-2 lead. That was good, but then you knew Houston was going to make the run. It was just a matter of when that run would come. And unfortunately for Cincinnati, that run came shortly after that big opening segment, and it was all Houston from there. But, man, Day Thomas, let's talk about it, right? Only plays 20 minutes because of some foul trouble. And on top of it, finishes with 19 points. I think if on 8 of 12 shooting, I think realistically, it's safe to say, I think we all can agree on this. If Day Thomas finds a way to stay out of foul trouble in this game, Cincinnati's getting probably the best game of Day Thomas's career to this point with the way he was playing. He was aggressive on the offensive end, but overall, Day Thomas being in foul trouble eventually hurt Cincinnati a little bit more than they expected because he was the guy who was going to be guarding LJ Cryer, who ended up going for 20 points on Houston on 7 of 13 shooting. So overall, to see, you look down, right? When you think about playing Houston, everybody kind of look down. You look down at the stat sheet. When you play a team like Houston, you expect multiple guys to get into double figures, whether that's 2 or 3 guys. Cincinnati only had two guys getting double figures from Houston, and that was LJ Cryer with 20 and Terrence Arsenault, who had 10 points. Outside of that, Houston, you would have asked me hold Jawan Roberts to just 8 points and 5 rebounds after averaging a double-double. Or you see some of those other guys like a Miles Uzan go 3 of 10 from the field for just 6 points. Like, overall, there's a lot of positives to take away from this match over the weekend. And on top of it, Cincinnati out-rebounds Houston in this matchup, 32-28. So that was a huge positive sign. But there's still a lot of things positive to take away. You lose by 9 at a place where a team does not lose at all. Houston does not lose at home, so that's a very good positive sign that you're able to fight back and you were able to kind of show that fight and fight till the very end. I think if you could get a couple of those turnovers back in the first half, it might be a different game, if same as if Day Thomas stayed out of foul trouble. But there's still a lot of positive things to take away. And actually, for the people who following the NCAA tournament chances, despite the loss to Houston, Cincinnati's NCAA tournament chances increased after their 9-point loss to Houston, matter of fact.
This is the Bearcat game recap segment sponsored by Purple Monkey Project. Hey, fellas, I just want to bring this back out maybe for good luck.
We need it. We need it.
We need to bring out the blunt wine back. When I walked in the house, it was sitting on the shelf, and I said, you know what? I think it's time we bring the blunt wine back out because we went on a streak when I took out the blunt wine, right?
True.
Yep.
And we need it now more than ever. So blunt wine, do your magic. Hey, so in terms of the game, just a couple things I want to say. I like the fight at the end, though.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. You know, we've all heard the comments that Coach Sampson has made in the past to Houston that they've modeled parts of their basketball program culture after the old school Bearcats.
Yeah.
We've heard him say that, and that always bothers me, to be honest with you. And I watch us play them. I'm like, they stole our swag, and it bothers me sometimes when I watch it because I'm like, yep. I'm just like, damn, like,
yeah,
it's a compliment, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, like that's a lot of identity. But give Coach Sampson props for building a strong culture, man. And it kind of runs itself, JT.
No, for sure, man. It's like he has like the DNA of UC with like some better scoring at times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially when our first season start catching on, and I was like, you know, we go to the tournament, we have minimal success, then they're going to Sweet 16s and stuff, and I'm just like, bro, they're UC with a couple better scores. You know what I mean? With a couple better scores.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, what we gotta do?
I know.
But, yeah, man. That's what makes you. It's like I like watching them, and I get mad watching them sometimes.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
I do like watching them sometimes because it gives me the vibes of back in the day of, you know, some similar things that we would do, and I'm like, damn, man, like you stole our shit, man. Smack you when I see you. Yep. The Purple Monkey Project was formed following the tragic loss of 10-year-old Reagan Vanasse in May of 2021. Reagan was a ray of sunshine who lit up every room. The Purple Monkey Project is named after Reagan's favorite stuffed animal and seeks to keep Reagan's spirit alive by being a ray of light in the community and promoting random acts of kindness. By providing scholarships and other financial support of youth and youth-centered charities in Southwest Ohio, the Purple Monkey Project seeks to pay it forward, all in the name of Reagan. To learn more about the Purple Monkey Project, please visit purplemonkeyproject.org or visit them on Facebook at Purple Monkey Project. This Wednesday at 7 p.m., the Bearcats take on Kansas State at the beautiful Fifth Third Arena. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Let's jump into the Big O segment, sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. In this segment, we cover players to watch and key matchups. JT, we're going to start with you. Who are you expecting a big game from? Pressure's on you, JT, because you usually do a good job at this.
I know, man. Pressure. So, all right. So I low-key used some research on this actually after I picked the person earlier. We're going with Dylan Mitchell. I know he had 5 points and 3 rebounds against Houston, but the first time he played against Kansas State this season, he had a double-double. 15 and 11. I think he had 2 steals. We need that kind of performance at Fifth Third Arena on Wednesday night. That'll be a very good sighting for the Bearcats. And I think so, man. He's already done it against this team. Let's get another double-double, man. Let's do it.
Okay. I like that. I don't know your rhyme or reason or your formula. Like, I feel like you're not going to give us the recipe, but I think of the years, this is our 3rd year doing this podcast.
Yeah.
I'd say, well, don't you agree, Neil? Like, he's probably in the lead for picking the player to watch of all.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
And I'm definitely in last place.
But the thing is, like I don't have like I don't know. It's weird, man. I like look at the game. If they played each other already, then that's the way I look at it too. But I'll look at like, all right, like Jizzle right now, he's the guy you kind of like really not a player to watch right now. You kind of stamp him as, like the guy. So I'm trying to stay away from him per se, because he's like, since UCF, he's kind of been like, he's been a steady Eddie guy. So I try to think of somebody else, that player to watch that's going to be the auxiliary guy that helps. So now that's how I've been looking at the rest of the season. That's how I'll be looking at it, no matter what. Even if Jizzle has a bad game, which I hope doesn't, I'm pretty sure like you could pretty much pencil Jizzle in for 15 points now or more. Right now, I feel like he's deserved that. He's earned that. So I try to stay away. That's how I look at it. I look at who else I think will fit against a certain team or whatnot.
Okay, giving us the KFC recipe.
Yeah. But I'm the one. But I'm the one.
You're the top. Like when I get one right, it's like a big deal. Like when I got Josh Reed right.
Hey, that was legendary, man.
That was legendary.
Hey, you started the trend on the Josh Reed train there.
I did. I got to get a little bit of props on that. I called that Josh Reed game. He took off from there.
Yep.
Hey, even a broken clock is right. But they say,
twice a day. Twice a day.
Shit. So
twice a day.
I got one right. Neil, give us your player to watch for the Bearcats and one guy from Kansas State.
Yeah, so my player to watch in this one, I'm going to go with Day Thomas. And the reason I say that in this matchup is obviously everybody knows it's senior night tomorrow. Technically, he is a senior right now, but since he got granted that extra year of eligibility due to Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, suing the NCAA for the JUCO route, which, in matter of fact, JT is not a fan of Diego Pavia. If anybody listens to this podcast, JT was not too happy of the him suing to get that extra year, but in the end, him doing so got a guy like Day Thomas an extra year of eligibility, which many Bearcats fans will be happy about. So I'm going to go with Day Thomas, and the reason being is because of how he's played very well lately. Obviously, coming off a 20 ball versus Houston, essentially, I think this could be a huge opportunity, because if you look back at how this first matchup went versus Kansas State back in the Big 12 opener, matter of fact, Kansas State inserted Doug McDaniel into the starting lineup for the first time all season in that contest. And Doug McDaniel went for 17 points, which was probably one of his season highs, in 34 minutes. So overall, but the reason I say that is being when entering the game, Day Thomas made a huge impact in the first matchup because they were able to turn McDaniel over. He had 6 of Kansas State's 11 turnovers. So I think Day could come in here, not only make an impact on the offensive end, but really have a good spark off the bench, or if he starts, but provide that good start, that good energy on the defensive side as well. And we all know how Fifth Third gets when the defense is playing, and when the crowd gets going in that arena, after loose balls, you get your steals, you get a breakaway dunk. Everybody knows when Fifth Third's rocking, they love their defensive hustle plays. So if they are able to get some of those big-time plays from Day Thomas on the defensive end, Fifth Third should be pretty rocking on Tuesday night.
Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. I'm going to go with a senior. I'm going to go with Aziz, the big fella. I'm hoping the big fella can leave out on a good note. And listen, I mean, I don't expect him to impact the game offensively with a 25 piece on offense, but more so protecting the rim, rebounds, block shots, those type of things, and having a big game. Because listen, I think there's several things that happen in a game that can change the trajectory of the game. One could be somebody taking a big charge at a big moment, right? I mean, Fifth Third loves that. A guy diving on the floor.
Yeah.
I remember when I played, we were I want to say we were playing St. Louis. They had a guy named Larry Hughes. We were playing St. Louis.
Larry Hughes.
Remember Larry Hughes?
Oh, yeah. Lottery pick. He was a dog. Lottery pick, man. He was a dog.
Yeah, Larry was good, man. We were playing St. Louis, and I I wouldn't say we weren't really playing great, but they were good teams. So,
Yeah.
the ball like is going out of bounds, and Melvin Levitt like jumps like over the scoreboard, saves the ball, falls into the stands, like over the back in the day they used to have a rail.
Yeah.
He like falls over, falls in the crowd. Then he runs, so he saves the ball. Then he runs around the score tape, runs back on the court, gets back in the play. The place goes crazy. It was the loudest I'd heard that place up until that point. So there are things like that. I think there are block shots like Kenyon Martin used to, have like a big time block that would just get the crowd going and would change the energy level for the Bearcats. And my hope is Aziz can impact the game in that way, because this is going to be, we're going to get into it in a little bit, but this is definitely a winnable game for the Bearcats. But you need those moments like that stamp that. So I'm going to rock with my guy Aziz, man. Hope he has a really good senior night. Hope all the guys have a senior night. And by the way, Neil, for senior night, CJ Anthony obviously isn't going to play.
Yeah.
CJ Frederick, can we get an update on that, Neil?
Yeah, so it sounds like CJ underwent a procedure last week, from what sounded like on the pregame radio show heading into Houston. Did not make the trip with the team to Houston. Wes Miller didn't have an update really on him this afternoon. He just kind of noted it is a back injury, and how finicky was the term he used in terms of those kind of injuries. You never really know the status of those back issues. The full quote, Wes Miller said he had a back issue. Back issues are really finicky. It is really hard for me to give a good answer on his status for the rest of the season, because right now I'm not really sure. So it doesn't sound too positive for CJ Frederick, but it still could be something to keep an eye on, depending how big of a run they make in the Big 12 tournament next week.
Championship game. All right. First of all, I just want to say, CJ Frederick, man, what a fantastic kid. I've known him for a long time, back when he was a little guy, and really good kid. And it's just a shame that his career has been, I mean, I think going back to some parts of high school, just these injuries, and a lot of times, man, a lot of these players, you can't do much about that, man. You get hurt, look at, I mean, JT, look at D Rose, man. D Rose coming out of high school, college, like that was my guy.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me nothing. Then he went to the Bulls, which at that time was my favorite team because of Michael Jordan. But then, man, the injury, and it's just like, but he ended up having don't you feel like D Rose kind of has become like this, like, it's just odd. He's become like a cult figure. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Don't you agree with that? Like,
nah, for sure. I was literally got a funny D Rose story, but man, was it when I was in Chicago? Was it November? Like the people that I went to see, or they like at their wedding, they're real cool with D Rose.
Oh, really?
So like he was there, like literally there. So I was in the same room.
Wait a minute. You were there. He was there.
Yeah. So, but people wouldn't leave him. So like I was like, all right, if I catch him, like where it's like a couple people around him, I'm like, I'm gonna ask for a picture, because like it's D Rose. Fuck it,
Yeah.
I can't be, you know what I'm saying? So there, but then like nobody's giving him, like the people that he knew were just like around him. So I was like, bro, it's just a wrap.
Yeah.
But I never caught him like slipping. Like it was like, I think like he was going in the hallway, like all right, I was walking by, I looked back and it was him, but it was like too far. It would have looked pretty wild.
Yeah, you got it.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't in like,
it.
you know what I'm talking about? Like I was probably like, and I was like, damn, that's D Rose, but I'm like, it's too far.
Yeah, I understand.
But I was salty because I was like, man, I gotta get, it's my chance to get a D Rose pick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But
he seems like a cool dude.
He does. He seems so humble, and he's a quiet guy. Right?
Yeah, super quiet.
He's a super quiet guy, but he just has that amazing cult following. But his injury really, I think, impacted. I think the cult following happened because the injury changed changed his whole career, and he never reached like the level. I think obviously he was the MVP at one point, but like
he was about
that next level, right?
Yeah.
Of what everyone thought D Rose. Because man, you go look at those D Rose highlights pre-injury.
Crazy highlights.
Crazy.
Basket to basket. There was nobody getting down the court like that and explosive to the.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like he was a mutant for real. Like him having those injuries, then he came back and injures the knee again. It was crazy.
Man,
but him and Westbrook together, like at the same time, was crazy. But Rose was better, like overall, which just sounds crazy, but he probably was on a better trajectory, which is even wilder if he doesn't tear the knees up. So.
Yep, big D Rose fan here, and back to CJ. I mean, just stuff like that happens, and it's kind of a domino effect in a lot of ways. You know, you injure one thing, and then it impacts something else, and then it's just a vicious cycle. So, shout out to CJ and CMOS, right? He's the other senior.
Yeah,
CJ Anthony as well.
Already mentioned him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know they just did a big giant feature on him. I know Wes Miller kind of gave a long speech about CJ today and his dedication to the program over 4 years. And it's kind of a unique story for everyone who's followed him. I mean, was a walk-on and then he came with Wes from, he was one of Wes's first members in his class when he first came to Cincinnati, stayed all 4 years. And I mean, could have left, but said he wanted to be a Bearcat, and you don't kind of see those stories often anymore. And Wes Miller did say it would get emotional tomorrow night at Fifth Third Arena when CJ gets honored with his family. So we'll probably see a little bit of emotion from Coach Miller, but overall, that's what you want to see on senior night. You want to see those guys get honored for their time, their recognition. So overall, I think that would be a pretty cool story too.
I think what's one thing that's very impressive about CJ Anthony is the fact that he's a walk-on and he has the respect of all those players. Like the guys that play the most minutes, they still have a lot of respect and they listen to CJ Anthony. And I'm gonna tell you right now how hard that is to do. Like me as a walk-on, listen, like I'm sure the guys like me, but Kenyon Martin ain't listening to me, bro. Like, and that's my guy. Like Kenyon's my guy. Kenyon didn't give a shit about what I had. If Kenyon came off the court in the game and I'm like, hey, bro, you gotta like come help side, and then he'd be like, man, shut the fuck up, man. Get out my face, man. Give me some water. And I'd be like, yes, Kenyon. And then yes, Kenyon. But CJ, I mean, you see him talking to Jizzle, right?
Yeah, for
sure. See him giving advice, and that's pretty impressive, man. That just shows you what type of not only what type of kid he is, what type of young man he is, what type of player he is.
Yeah.
The fact that everyone has that much respect for him. So salute to CJ. And Kenyon really would say that shit to me too. I'm dead serious, man. Dead serious. The Big O segment was sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Do you have a business that needs better inventory control, production management, or improved accounting control? Outgrown QuickBooks or can't afford NetSuite? Give loyal Bearcat grads Doug and Kathy Jacobs at Smart Dog Solutions a call. They've been in your position and would love to help you solve all your problems. They can be reached at 513-739-9473 or contacted online, smartdog-solutions.com. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. And ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. The world-famous segment, The Name Game with Neil Meyer, sponsored by Oakley Greens. Hit it, Neil. Hey. Hey. What a great song. So, Neil, we had to switch it up. We've already talked about Kansas State in the past. So for those that are new listeners, repeat listeners, you know what the name game is. We take a look at either the opposing team that we're playing, or if we've played them before, we look at another team from another conference somewhere around the country and look at their roster. They might have a name that's funny, sounds crazy, might be a cool name. And JT always marvels on how I find some of these.
Hey,
He's always like, man, how do you find these schools, man? So I think I found one of the top ones. I think I outdid myself on this one. I'm gonna talk my shit.
all right, we locked in.
Hawaii. Neil, let me tell. Hey JT, I'm actually gonna give you. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you how I found Hawaii.
How'd you find it?
So I told you my secret. So if we play, like we played Kansas
Yep.
State already, so we can't do that twice. So I always look at kind of like the coasts, right?
Yeah.
East Coast, West Coast schools. And then today I was like, well, let me think about the Southern schools. So I look at Texas. I look at Texas A&M,
Okay.
Christie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they've got to have some wild names. So I go and I'm like, not really. Let me see who they played. And I say, oh, they played Hawaii. Hawaii might have some. Man, I click on Hawaii. I'm like, oh, this is a wrap. Let's roll with this one.
Damn,
Neil,
this is crazy.
This is crazy. Neil, hopefully you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. We are going to start from Hawaii. Number 5.
I knew it.
Number 5 from Hawaii is Gaitis Nemikasa, and the former Xavier Musketeer before transferring out to Hawaii.
Bro, I have never seen that dude ever play for Xavier. That's no way.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was there 2 years ago, I think.
You remember him?
Yeah.
I don't.
How do you remember him, Neil?
Shit, he was at Xavier last year.
But you were actually remember
Do you
him?
remember him?
Yeah, he started 20 games, it says. He was in that starting lineup.
Bro,
He was in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Neil, I think
Man.
happened, bro.
Oh
No, he was in that starting lineup, especially when they played Cincinnati.
I need video. He did not play in the shootout.
He started 20 games for him.
Say his name again.
I've never heard of him.
Nemikasa.
You sure that's it?
Yeah, I'm about to look it up right now. From last year, the shootout.
Did he score?
If you're wrong, I'm gonna fight you, Neil. Like we're gonna fight. I'm sitting here looking at these pictures. I've never seen
dude.
I've never seen him before in my life. Like
Never heard of him.
I'm looking at his like on Hawaii's website. I'm looking at the pictures of him. Bro.
Oh, they ain't got his other stats. They only got his Hawaii
So
stats.
looking at the box score from Xavier, from when Xavier beat Cincinnati 84 to 79, Gaitis Nemikasa played 18 minutes, went 1 for 5 from the field, and had 3 rebounds and just 3 points.
Against the Bearcats.
Against the Bearcats.
I don't remember that shit.
I have no idea. You know how you say like people have empty stats?
Say what?
That's how you say people have empty stats.
This is the pick. This is the dude.
This is empty stats.
Empty stats. I don't remember.
Never heard of him. I've watched a few Xavier games too, man. Like just to
I feel
see
like
what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't like Xavier, but I watched a few of their games. I don't remember dude.
His nickname's Nemo.
Nemo.
It says the bio, and he's from Lithuania. From Lithuania.
Yeah, he started every game for Xavier up until Cincinnati. And then he started during a couple 5-game stretches during the middle of the season.
Wait. Say what you just said again. He started every game except?
He started every game for Xavier to start the 2023-24 season up until Cincinnati.
So he didn't start the shootout.
Didn't start the shootout. Then he went through a stretch where it was Cincinnati, Winthrop, St. John's, Seton Hall, where he came off the bench before starting 5 games straight, missing 2 games, and then coming back and starting 6 straight for Xavier.
All right, we spent too much time on Jitis and whatever. All right, we gotta move on from him. Number 6.
Number 6 is Osahan Obasohan.
Wow. JT, help me on this. Say that one more time, Neil.
I'm back.
Osahan Obasohan.
Wow. Like they really had to think about that as a family when he was.
That almost like they was. I don't even know. Like it. almost rhymes.
It does.
Osahan. It's like the same letters in everything. It's damn near having the same name.
Yeah, his
Like-
family really had to
Like
be
James.
strategic. They were like, you know what? I
Like
want to.
James is James. That's what this is.
Oh, that's wild. That's
That's
wild.
what this is. Or
You know-
James's.
It'd be good. It would be fun to actually like talk to the actual parents and say, okay, how did you come up with Gob Gob? Like, what was
Hey, why?
thought process? And then how did you go, that's it,
That's
Gob
it.
Gob. Yeah.
Same name,
Everybody's
same
like,
thing.
we're going with Gob Gob.
God. That's it. Final answer. And then to say F it, we submitting everything.
You got to write that shit down.
Yeah, and sign.
Sign off on it. Like,
That's
and look
bullshit.
at like now it's one thing to say it, and then it's another thing to look and go, Gob Gob.
That's it. That's what it is. It's like that's it right here.
Man, they set that man up for failure. All right,
This is
number 8, Kobe.
Number 8 for Hawaii is AJ Ikonomu.
Economu? Is it Economu? Or is
Oh
it
no, I just said it.
Economo.
Economo?
Economy.
AJ Economy? AJ Economic? No.
Economics.
No. Number 11.
Number 11 is Jacopo van der Nap. And it's all space. They're all different words.
Vandernap is
I like
crazy.
how, hey Neil, I like how you actually like were
Like
pausing
paused.
faces. He was like,
Definitely paused.
say it again.
Jacopo van der Nap.
Vandernap is crazy.
That is crazy. Where's he from? Oh, he's from Italy.
Oh,
Yep.
that's tight.
Verona, Italy.
What's the second thing say there? Where he's from, Neil? What school is that?
Skol alle stimate.
I think you spit on yourself when you said that. Say it again.
Skole alle stimate.
Oh, shoot. That's funny.
All right, we're good. I'm so happy I found Hawaii. All right, number 13.
Number 13 is Roy Igwe.
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 And he's from. He doesn't look like
Tokyo,
it.
Japan.
He don't look like he's from Japan, but
Nah,
he doesn't.
he don't. It's rude. He must be really. No, let me chill.
Let
Let me chill. Let me chill.
Hold on. I gotta click on his picture because no, there's no way he's from Japan. Look at his picture. He's from Japan, Ohio. There's no way he's from Japan.
For sure. He must have been born in Japan. Like he had a family member that was like he probably Asian and black.
Yeah, you know what? It says he's from Nigerian and Japanese descent. Born in Satamo.
So he got the Rui. He's like Rui for
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
Yep.
That's right. Number. Okay, hold on. My thing just messed up. Number 14. Help me out with that last name.
oh my god.
Number 14 is Harry Ruledeff.
Okay.
That wasn't bad.
It looked worse.
It does. When you look at all those letters, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's from Australia. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go with number 30.
Number 30 is Aaron Hunkin Claytar.
Hunkin Claytars.
That's a ooh.
That's a hell of a hyphen name.
Yeah. Hunkin Clater? Isn't it Clater? Wouldn't it be Clater? Hunkin Clater?
Yeah, it ain't like
Hunkin Claytar.
Clater.
See, I think Neil, you made it sound a little too sexy by saying Claytar. It's Clater.
Clater.
You're a Clater.
Hunkin
Yeah,
Claytor.
Clater.
Clater hater.
And he's from Wahiwa, Oahu.
Ooh, wow.
Damn.
Which I think is Hawaii as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Small island in Hawaii.
It is. Number 34, just his first name. I just was intrigued with that.
Akira Jacobs.
Yeah, Akira. I like that.
Sure.
He's from where's he from? What part of
Yokohama, Japan.
Yokohama? We're not done, Neil. We're not done. Look at what's the head coach's name?
Aaron Gannat.
Yep. Very good.
It was.
Let's jump scroll down
I
to
would have butchered that one.
Yep. The graduate manager on the right-hand side.
Zorned.
Was it?
Zorned.
Zorned.
Doesn't it sound like it's like an evil character? Like,
yeah. So like you get to the boss, like somebody somebody kidnap somebody, and you gotta pay ransom, and then like get there, you drop off the bag, you gotta fight Zorned. He's trying to finesse you, take the money, not give your person back.
You gotta fight Zorned.
You gotta fight Zorned to save your family and shit.
Like a He-Man character.
Yeah, this is straight off the name. I ain't judging the person, guys. So, but just off the name, he sounds like definitely a movie character name.
He does. He's probably a good guy.
Probably cool as heck.
Let me look at his picture. Okay, yeah, he's got the dreadlocks going.
Looks like played for Hawaii.
He played for Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's experience from 18 to 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's originally from Hawaii.
Oh, that's dope. Oh, he's out here living a dream.
Good for it.
He a grad assistant. Okay, then. Grad manager.
You know what is really wild about this segment, though, if you really think about it? The fact that we are randomly talking about just like these people have no idea we're actually talking about them on a podcast. We should clip this and tag these people on it, and they'll be like, "What are we on a Bearcat podcast?"
Man, yeah, that probably would throw them off. We should clip this. Maybe one day.
One day, this might be the one.
Might be.
There's some wild ones.
Nice.
Hey Neil, you did a good job, man. I'm proud of you. Okay.
Thank you.
You take a lot of pride in the name game. You know that?
I do.
The name game with Neil Meyer, sponsored by Oakley Greens. Oakley Greens, the ultimate spot to catch your hometown team in every big game. With 6 giant LED screens and TVs at every angle, it's more than a sports bar. It's your entertainment headquarters. All the sports, all the time, all at Oakley Greens. Located in Oakley Station next to the cinema. You can check them out on their website, oakleygreens.com. Let's get into the Kenyon segment, sponsored by my guy, Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. This is where we cover the keys to the game. JT, what did the Bearcats need to do to win?
All right, so I got rebound the ball. I like how they did against Houston. Carry that to Fifth Third Arena Wednesday. But then I got an obscure number. Shoot from the field 43% or higher. So
where'd you get this random number?
Random number, because I'm like, I want them to shoot over 40%. They don't got to shoot 45 to win. If they rebound the ball, shoot in the middle, like 42.5%, 43%. And that's like adding all, with threes included. But 43%, I don't know what made me go with that number. It's just, I just took a chance. I didn't want to have like the same thing. But I feel like if you're shooting a little bit over 40%, you're making enough baskets to score in the 70s.
Okay, let's make sure after this game, next pod, we're going to look at this percentage and see if you're right or how close to being right you are.
Yeah, I want to see. If they win, it don't matter what they do. If they lose, I'm going to be like, dang. But if they do this and they win by like 10, everybody's, because it ain't got to be perfect. You don't got to be at 50-something%. I feel like you play defense how they played against Houston. Bring that intensity. Because, I feel like no slight to Kansas State, but if you can hang with Houston on the road at home, you should be able to do what you want with the Kansas State.
For sure. Neil?
Yeah, in this matchup, obviously JT mentions the rebounding. I would like Cincinnati to win that matchup, especially if Coleman Hawkins is unable to go for Kansas State after missing the last 4 games due to a knee injury. If he is unable to go, there should be no reason that Cincinnati loses this game in the rebounding margin. Just simply shouldn't, because they won the rebounding margin the first time, despite Coleman Hawkins finishing with 20 points and 10 rebounds in the first matchup. So overall, if Coleman Hawkins isn't able to play tomorrow for Kansas State, I think Cincinnati should single-handedly win this game on the glass. But for me, I think the biggest importance is attack the rim. Now, in a game you lose by 3 back in December to kick off conference play, you only shot 7 free throws. Well, Cincinnati's offense has been a lot more aggressive as of late. You have seen guys starting to get to the foul line. So for Cincinnati, I want to see them get aggressive. I want to see them attack the rim, get to the foul line, and really play to their strengths. Tempo, push that tempo a little bit, right? JT mentioned 43% shooting from the field. If you look back at this first contest between the two, this was a game where Cincinnati should have single-handedly beat Kansas State earlier in the year, but Cincinnati shot 47% from the field in the first matchup. So I would like to see them kind of hover around that 43 to 47% number again versus Kansas State. But I really want to see them attack the rim. I really think if they are able to push Kansas State, get them into foul trouble, especially if Hawkins is out, I think this could be a game where Cincinnati could really kind of open things up and take advantage from the free throw line.
The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. So, fellas, I just got something really simple. It has nothing to do with statistics or strategy with the game, and it's simple, man. Feed off the energy of senior night. I think there's always something special about senior night or senior day. You can feed off of that energy. The crowd should be pretty good. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. The Bearcats are wearing red, right?
I believe so.
They're wearing red. I wish they would wear the, you know what? Hold on. I got some shoes. Hold on. One sec. First time I ever walked away from the pod. I'm coming back. I want them to wear these.
Oh, those tight.
You like those? The red 39s?
Nice. With the red laces? I like that.
Well, they know
white laces?
They came with red, but I put white in them.
Okay.
Kind of spice it up a little bit. But it'd be dope to see them in these. I got the oops.
So are we going to see are we going to see those in a first hand at Fifth Third Arena tomorrow night, Meach?
They might. I heard they got a new package of some goodies. But you know what happens with? So I'm glad you brought that up, Neil. So with this generation of players, a couple things happen. One, like they have to like break shoes in, and certain guys don't like wearing certain types of shoes. And then also sometimes they'll get some shoes. Like let's say they get these red 39s I just showed you, and they really like them. They'll be like, no, I'm not wearing them. I'm keeping them for another day. Like I'm going to wear them with these sweats, blah, blah, blah. When we were playing, it really wasn't like that. You know, it was like, oh, we got some new Jordans. Oh, I'm wearing those in the game. You know what I'm saying? It was just the way it is. Now some of these guys, like, I swear Seamoss's first year, he wore some Jordans from like 2 years prior that were like old. Like I'm like, I said to him one day, I was like, "Yo, it's got holes in them." Like he's like, "Man, those are I got them all broken in." I'm like, "You might need to get fixed, bro." Like we talked about it. But that's whatever, man. Everybody's got different things. You know, Michael Jordan used to play a new pair of shoes every game.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I heard that.
So what he would do is he would play in a pair of shoes, and then he would auction those shoes off after the game for charity.
Okay.
And so 82 regular season game, he wore 82 different pairs of shoes. Now, they might be the same shoe, but he would just have a new pair of that shoe.
Okay.
He always said that he felt like, you know how like you know you got to get a new hoodie, or like, okay, JT, let's say you get a new sweatsuit.
Yeah.
Walk a little different when you got a new sweatsuit. You know what I mean?
True.
And Jordan felt like I played different, man, when I got some new shoes on. So anyway, but back to my keys of the game. I think they just need to feed off the energy of senior night, man. The crowd should be good. The crowd should be hyped up for these guys and cheering on those seniors, man, and just feed off of that. The Kenyon segment, Keys of the Game, was sponsored by Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota. Come see fellow Bearcat Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota for all your new and pre-owned Toyota needs. Look for Greg Hooden on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Greg Hooden. Hooden is spelled Hoodin. Or come see Greg at Beachmont Toyota, always ready to help our Bearcat family get into a new Toyota. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Now, the Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. This is where we cover hot topics. Today's hot topic, I was thinking about this, and great segue, senior night, big game, players going to be in red, fans being red, a lot of energy. On Instagram the other day, they had I don't know if it was senior day or night at Houston. Kelvin Sampson got very emotional. One of his players, which player was it, Neil, that came out and hugged him?
Jawan Roberts, who has been in school since the time I probably started college, which for people who know me, I started college in 2018.
Yep. You and CJ Frederick too. So all you all started back then. So it's like, but you saw that embrace, that love, and it was a very emotional moment. So my question for you guys is, hot topic, is there a senior night in Bearcat history or senior day that sticks out to you? Either that walk where the player walks out with the family, the place erupts, or a performance on that magical day for a senior. JT, start off with you.
All right, I'm throwing a curveball because I can't, I don't know, man. Maybe it's all the games I go to or what, and kids, but I can't think of anything that just sticks out. So my bad, Bearcat Nation. But something of that sort. It's like I remember, when Kobe's last game, how big that was to me. So I'm gonna talk about that.
That was magical, man.
Yeah. So the Lakers were trash that year, but Kobe, goes off for 60, wins the game. All these superstars are there. The Warriors are, breaking the record, the Bulls record for most wins in the season. So it was just a lot of stuff, man. So that was pretty cool. And then,
wait. Hold on. I don't want to breeze past that. Let's go back to your first part. You said there were a lot of celebrities there.
Yeah.
Everybody was there.
Yeah.
Corey Blunt was there. I'm pretty sure Corey Blunt was there.
For real?
I think Corey Blunt was at the game, if I remember correctly. I got to ask him that.
Dang, that's tight. We definitely got to ask him that for sure.
He was either at that game or he was at the ceremony for Kobe. Remember they did a ceremony?
Yeah.
He was at one of the other. I gotta let me get clear.
Dang, that's tight. All right.
Remember when Snoop Dogg was in the crowd?
He was like,
when Kobe was taking those shots, he was like, ah! That meme is hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. It was just a lot of tight things. Jay-Z was there. A lot of. Everybody was there. So.
Not. Well, he's always been crazy, but he's super crazy now. But middle crazy Kanye.
And you would know who he was sitting with that game for those who remember. Lamar Odom.
Damn, I was gonna try to guess, bro. You're supposed to let me guess.
It's great. Well, it's crazy to think about it because just Lamar. Were you gonna guess Lamar?
But I was gonna. I might have arrived there if you'd have said you sit next to somebody that did drugs. Oh, Lamar Odom. Oh, sorry.
You know who else was in that attendance for that night?
You gonna let me guess, or you gonna?
Yep, go ahead and guess.
Is it a musical artist?
Correct.
Well, we already said Jay-Z, Kanye, Usher.
Nope.
Musical artist. I'm not gonna say 50 Cent was probably there, but no. Musical artist. Yeah. JT, who do you think?
Taylor Swift.
Nah.
No.
Was she pop? Was she like?
Oh no, I was just talking. I think she still was. I think she was definitely.
We've talked about him on. We've talked about him on this podcast before. I'll say that.
Master P was there?
Nope.
Oh, Skullduggery.
We've talked
Skullduggery.
about,
There's
we've
no
talked
way.
about this guy recently.
There's no way Skullduggery would have tickets that close. He'd be way up where I was.
I don't even think he was alive, right?
Who?
Skullduggery, Kobe's last game.
I thought Skull just died a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay. Skullduggery died in 2022.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Skull.
R.I.P. man.
Let's see. We talked about this guy on the podcast before, Neil.
Oh man.
Oh God, my brain's not.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
We talked about Hootie before.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
I was about to say we definitely haven't talked about Hootie and Blowfish.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way we any.
Yeah, we haven't.
I give up, Neil.
Chris Brown?
Nope. JT, you're getting close though.
Lil Wayne?
Nope. You're getting closer though.
Who would be? It's better be good, Neil. I'm gonna slap you. Who?
Kendrick Lamar was there.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
All right. All right.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
And Snoop Dogg was there too, like you guys mentioned, but
yeah,
Kendrick Lamar was there.
Well, so the other piece that I do want to bring up, JT, that you said, we can't breeze past this. So you had that day you had to make a decision, and I remember this.
Yeah.
You had to make a decision. Are you going to watch Kobe's last game, or are you going to watch Golden State break the record? Both of them was like ESPN, ESPN2.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember I said to my buddy, like, there's no way I'm missing Kobe's last game. Like, I am watching this. Like, and I didn't say this, but my friend said he's gonna have either he's gonna have a magical performance or he's gonna shoot it so many times something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
But talk about that. You want to talk about that game a little bit for you?
Yeah, man, it was dope because it was like even Kobe talked about at the end of the game. He was like, "Man, this is like the one time like nobody wanted me to pass." And it was like my legs were on fire. I'm passing the ball, they passing it right back to me. He was like,
"You told me that too."
You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Dang, my whole career, y'all want me to pass. This time y'all wouldn't let me pass." But I thought it was dope. He came out like cold as shit, and then finally caught a low stride, and then you get the 60 ball.
Right, he did come out cold in that one.
He came out cold, like he was like freaking 2 of 17 or something. Like he was something real cold. Like
he did.
Yeah.
And why did he have that? Do you remember for whatever reason he had that baggy jersey?
I don't know. Did they do a different jersey that game? Was that like the throwback jersey?
No, I don't know. He had like a super baggy jersey. Like, I'm like, why is his jersey so big?
I don't know, man.
Speaking of Kobe's last game, how many times do you guys think he shot the ball that night?
At least 50.
50? There's no way he shot at 50.
It was 40. I know for sure it's 40.
Okay, 40.
What do you think, Meach?
I'm cool with 40. I was gonna say 38.
Nah, he went 22 of 50 from the field that night.
I thought it was 50.
Damn, you're right.
Because he started off so cold, bro. Like
he went 6 of 21 from 3.
Hey,
and you want to know what's even crazier? Is the team shot 24 3-pointers on the night, and 21 of them came from Kobe.
Hey, this is your night, bro. Do your thing.
Yep.
I got a great fun fact. For Kobe. JT, you're a Kobe guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if you know this. When I think about elite athletes, I think about that laser focused and that meticulous attention to detail, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at golf, right, you think about like putting, right? Putting is so much attention to detail, a focus, right?
Yep.
Right. So you think about that with a lot of sports. And when you think about basketball, shooting the basketball, focus, I think a lot about free throws.
Yeah.
Right. Kobe Bryant, he started his career and he ended his career on a
free throw. Yep.
Free throw. Did you know that?
Yep.
I always thought that was so dope. Like,
that's crazy.
Started on a made free throw, ended on a made free throw. That's cool. That's dope.
Yeah. Facts. Big
Yep.
facts.
So good pick, JT. Anything else you want to add about that game before we go to
man, it was legendary, man. Still, have you ever seen the people that made the? I don't know if it was a meme or a video where it act like he was damn, was he see? Did he? They act like he did the. They act like he did a moonwalk. He did something, man. He did something like a Michael Jackson dance and shot the free throws. It was like AI, like an early AI type thing.
I never saw that.
Oh man, she was funny. I gotta find that.
I've never seen that one.
Go.
Neil, your senior night, senior day.
Yeah, for me, the biggest senior day memory that comes into mind when you think about Cincinnati, obviously it was a game me and JT covered. Meach, you were there, but our guy David DeJulius, who didn't start his career as a Cincinnati Bearcat, but came to Cincinnati during one of the biggest transitions in all of college basketball, the midst of a pandemic, quickly became a fan favorite, obviously was very well interacting in the community with students and everything, and just to see how his career ended at Fifth Third Arena. He goes out with a 30 ball, gets to kiss the C-Paw, walk off the court to a standing ovation. I think that was a pretty cool, unique moment, and it's going to be a moment that you probably won't forget, because how many times do you get to end your career on a 30 ball, and then you get to kiss half court, you get to come off to a standing ovation, especially in an arena like Fifth Third. I think that was a very cool moment for David DeJulius.
And I think about, I agree with you. That was a great senior day, senior night, whatever it was. Was that a senior day or night?
Senior day.
Senior day.
Yeah, it was day. Yeah.
It was senior day game. And listen, we can go on and on about DeJulius, man. What a great human being he is. We interviewed him on this podcast. He was great. But I mean, for a guy that puts in that amount of time that he has, he definitely deserves that. Great for the community. And I think he's a guy that years and years from now, imagine after he finishes his professional playing career, him coming back to Fifth Third Arena to watch a game and then bringing him to half court. Man, that place is going to go crazy. I think he's definitely one of those guys that's up there as a, beloved Bearcat. So the Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. So for me, I think the greatest moment for me on a senior day night was, I can't even remember what year it was, but it was Eric Hicks' senior night. And any like old school Bearcat fan that's listening to this, they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about right away. Bob Huggins had been fired. That was a whole mess. And Eric Hicks was like, Eric Hicks embodied like Bearcat basketball. This guy came into the University of Cincinnati from North Carolina. He came in actually playing a different position than what he ended up playing with the Bearcats, because remember, he got shot in the leg.
Yeah.
So he had to kind of change some things up, his style of play. He got stronger. He just became that alpha guy. Like when I felt like when Eric Hicks was on the court, I don't care who we played, we were not getting bullied. Like,
Thanks.
No way, no how. Right? And he just he got better every year. And I always tell E this, like, when you think about Bearcats that got better, I mean, of course you look at Kenyon Martin is one of the greatest examples of a guy who came in prop 48, dunked the ball, blocked shots, and he left. Number player in the country. Like he's the creme de la creme of that. But I think Eric Hicks is right there of a guy who came in and left out. And you're like, that dude gave everything he had, got as good as he could possibly get. Like, he finished it good. And when he came out on senior night, first of all, the crowd was, because he just exemplified a Bearcat, the crowd was going crazy. But the dopest thing about it is Bob Huggins, who had been fired, hadn't been back to the arena. He showed up to the game. Eric Hicks walks off the court, the center court area, walks over to where Huggins is. They embrace. Eric's crying. Hugs is crying. Entire Shoemaker Center is crying. Security guards are crying. People at the concession stand crying on the pretzels. Like it was, I'm crying. You know how sometimes you want to cry, but you don't want to like let people see you're crying.
Yeah,
Stuff.
true.
You know what I'm talking about. I was like, yeah, I'm not. And then you look around, it's like, shit, everybody's crying. Let me go ahead and cry. That to me was like that was the ultimate senior day, senior night in Bearcat basketball for me. And I know there are a lot of like diehard Bearcat fans that have been around for a long time. If you bring that up, they'll be like, oh yeah, that was the one right there. Definitely the one, man. I'm telling you, man, E. Hicks is probably one of my top 5 favorite. Like my top, when I'm talking about like I got a top 5 of the best, the greatest basketball time. My top 5 like favorite. Eric Hicks is definitely on that list just for what he did. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he was legit. He was legit. Like you said, when he was on the team, yeah, they definitely nobody was punking him. You might beat him, but you ain't about to punk him. That's for sure. Nope. That wasn't going.
He was fighting.
But you used to keep some people that you weren't gonna punk though.
Huh?
Like you see kept people that you weren't gonna punk though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Forsons and Blunts and you know what I'm saying, Kenyon, of course. I mean, I'm gonna throw a name out there. I'm gonna see if you remember him. Remember Kareem Johnson?
Oh, Jabber? Of course.
Like you want to punk? Hey man, that dude was funny, man.
Jabber was.
Hey, that dude was so funny. Oh my god.
Jabber
got so many random stories with dude.
Kareem Jabber. Everybody called him Jabber.
Yeah.
Because he just
the way
he was the only dude that legitimately could talk back to Huggins and make Huggins like just bust out laughing.
For real?
I've never seen it before. I'd be at a practice and him and Hugs would get into it, and Huggins would just bust out laughing. He was so funny.
That dude
Everybody forgets about Jabber, man.
Hey, dude was hilarious, man. Had a couple of hilarious encounters with him. Like, dude was funny, man.
Did you on campus?
Yeah, on campus. Oh my god, it was a couple nights, man. Oh my god, this dude had me and my homeboys. I'm gonna ask my guys if they remember. It was some funny ass nights. I'm not gonna say what happened on the pod, just because. But dog, that shit was. I'm talking about like,
I believe it.
In stitches, like just laughing.
I believe it. Jabber was funny. You know, low key, most Bearcat fans don't know this, but one of like the toughest Bearcats of all time, and most people don't know, was Emmanuel McElroy.
Facts.
You don't mess with him, bro. IMAC, bro. Everybody will tell you he was knocking folks out.
It looked like it. He was built like he wasn't like dude was. Yeah, he had the Houston fade, the Texas fade. Like, yeah, bro, it was different.
Yeah, he was definitely different. Hey, he didn't have anything to say. He had no words for you. Like, if you go back, I guarantee if you go back, I don't think he ever did media.
I bet he didn't.
He had nothing to say.
He's just here to hoop. I'm here to hoop and get my Jordan. Yeah,
I'm here. Give me my Jordans. I'm hooping. I'm out.
I
don't think he's ever been back.
I ain't seen my man.
You never hear anybody talk about IMAC like
ever.
McElroy's here. Nope.
That's crazy.
I gotta try.
How you doing?
I gotta try to hunt him down. I don't know. I think Jamal Lucas still talks to him, and I need to ask Jamal. Matter of fact, I talked to Jamal today. His daughter. I called Jamal, and he was walking into his daughter's playoff game in Portland. He lives in Portland.
Okay.
And but he still talked because they're both like that whole Texas crew was real tight. You know, Jamal's from Corpus Christi, and then Field Williams.
Okay, I was wondering where Phil was from. I can't remember where Phil was from.
Yep, Armin's from Texas.
Yeah, no, Armin from Texas.
Yep. So that whole crew, but IMAC man was knocking folks out if they stepped out of line. Yeah, you didn't mess with him.
I bet.
Yeah,
I wonder if he got some.
What?
Notice, he probably was. If he was out and about, I know it'll be like random, funny Vertigo stories.
Vertigo.
Remember
Wow.
Vertigo?
Say that. Neil has no idea
No
what
idea.
no.
Nope.
There, I would have bet every Jordan I'm looking at right now at my place that Neil has no idea about Vertigo.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way he
Nope.
would though.
No.
Because it was torn down by the time Neil might not have been in double digits when that was torn down.
That was a wild place right there, man.
Man, Vertigo is crazy.
Hey, what was
I got some funny stories in there.
what? So Vertigo sat here. What was the place that used to be on the corner? The club. Oh shoot, because my teammates used to always go to it. And one day, remember Two Live Crew?
Yeah.
Two Live Crew was supposed to perform there, but the city banned them from coming.
For real?
Yeah, you remember how they were.
Oh yeah, but that's crazy.
They got banned from. But what was that place called on the corner? Oh man.
I can't think of it. I don't know if it was already gone.
It's a parking lot now.
Yeah, because now it's all different essentially. Because Vertigo's essentially was in where the new Kroger is, like that.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
It is. Yep. That whole.
Because remember, it used to be like a Foot Locker.
Yep.
Over there, pocket. Yep. Blockbuster. You know what a Blockbuster is, Neil?
I know what a Blockbuster is.
You sure?
I know what a Blockbuster is.
Okay.
Right. So the Blockbuster.
Yeah, we had 2 minutes away from my parents' house growing up.
Oh yeah, West Side.
Oh, yeah.
West Side had a lot. You guys had a lot of family video, right? Didn't you have family?
Yeah, I feel like the last family video.
No, we had more Blockbusters on this side of town than family videos, if I remember right.
Oh, did you? Okay, I thought there was a fan. I was.
There was though. There was a
family video closer to JT's crib over there in Cheviot. The shit, it might still be there.
I feel like the family video just like switched over like within the last 3 years.
No, me. It's real life. There's one right down the road from Oak
Man, they
Hill.
was running dope out of that, dog. Like, ain't no way. Like people would streaming was jumping. They had to be running something.
They were laundering.
They was getting Mike Vick on or something.
Man, they were laundering some money out of there. That was
fighting dogs. They were fighting dogs or selling
family video.
Some fent.
Man. Yeah, if you see a Blockbuster family video now, they're selling drugs.
They selling something, dog, or it's something bad. Like you might want to call it.
I think something's going on in family.
I think something's going on. It's a family video. 2025. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might be some kids back there or some people that don't want to be there. There's got to be some kind of labor laws getting broken if it's a family.
Neil, if you ever meet someone and they say, "Yeah, I work at family video," bro, just run.
Run. Don't ask no questions, man.
Hey, you want to know what's crazier as we're talking about Blockbuster? There's only one Blockbuster open left in the United States.
Let me hold on. Let me guess. That one Blockbuster has to be like a vintage, like it's got like throwback stuff in there, or something like a museum of Blockbuster. Right or wrong?
Correct. That's what Google says.
I'm about to say.
And I don't know that, but that's the only way that place can exist.
I'm about to say, it's like in South Dakota.
It's actually in Oregon.
Is it really? Is that where it's started?
Yeah, it says it's located in Bend, Oregon, and it is the only Blockbuster store that remained functional after all the others closed in 2019. Still works by the old model of movie renting while also acting as a museum and bringing back the good memories from the 1990s.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense. I was going to say, it's either that, it's in Idaho, Wyoming, like somewhere like up there, like people really don't visit. Like,
are you trying to say Idaho is behind the times, JT?
Gotta be. They probably don't even really got like 5G up there.
There's no way.
Hey, I'm sorry. It's no way. I bet you like their internet is probably like, so they probably still got AOL.
They might not even have the internet. You know what? I went to school. It was 7th and 8th grade. Yeah, 7th and 8th grade. I went to school with this guy named Rob. I'm not going to reveal his real name, but his full name, but Rob.
Yeah.
Now, Rob was like, back in that time, he was like, and Neil, you know who Tom Cruise is, but when Tom Cruise back in the day was like, every girl loved Tom Cruise, right? JT, you remember those days? He was like one of the sex symbol dudes or whatever. So this guy, Rob, at my school was the Tom Cruise of our school. Like if you wanted to talk to a girl and go out with a girl, you had to check with Rob first. Like, Rob, are you talking to Anna? Nope. Cool. I'm going to holler at her. Good?
Yeah.
He could fight. It's just like he had all like.
Rob had a roster before a roster was a thing.
Bro, he had a stable. Stable of horses. Like, like stable. It was crazy. I mean, unbelievable. And he was the pretty boy. Like came from a pretty well-to-do family.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so years later, like, you know, I go off to UC.
Yeah.
Do my hoop. I think he went to like an Ivy League school like Brown. I think he went to Brown maybe. So I go off to play at UC, do my thing. And then like, I forget how many years ago it was. It might have been like 5 or so. I run into some people in Marymount that I went to school with back. And we were trying to like talk about what's this person doing? What's that person doing? And I'm like, you know, what happened to so-and-so? And then we brought up Rob.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, I've not heard anything about him. I feel like he'd be like a CEO of a company or would be on TV doing some stuff. And they start laughing. And I'm like, why are you guys laughing? They're like, you're never going to believe this. Dude moved to Montana, became a real life cowboy, doesn't have a cell phone, and doesn't communicate with anybody. Like he's on like a he's a real life cowboy. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, he doesn't talk to anybody. Like you can't get a hold of him. And I'm like,
got a cell phone. It's crazy.
Well, this was like 7 years ago. I mean, he couldn't.
Still, on.
And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, he lives in I don't even know what part of Montana it was, but Montana's Montana. But I'm like, man, this was the cool, and it shook me. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm leaving there like, yo, this was the coolest dude in the school. Like, I felt like he was gonna rule the world. And there's nothing wrong with being a cowboy in Montana, but that was not on my bingo card.
Man said, fucking cowboy.
He said, I'm gonna be a cowboy.
Not a Dallas cowboy.
Not a Dallas.
Cowboy.
Like, he legitimately was riding horses through Montana, like probably like whooping ass.
Like out here having a showdown, a hold down.
Be in the saloon. Those beer with the foam.
Like whoever finishes this beer faster. Two shots for you. Playing like Russian roulette and shit.
I gotta find. I now need to find a picture of him from when we were in school, and then find like a picture of him as a cowboy, and I'll send it to you guys. If you see a picture of him in school, you'll be like, yeah, that was a pretty boy. Like had his hair parted down the middle, like little on tips, all that shit. But the Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. Visionary Cleaners is a locally owned company by former Bearcat student athletes. They specialize in high quality commercial cleaning of businesses, apartments, and pre and post construction cleans. They can be reached at 513-388-7816 or contacted online at visionarycleaners.com. Fellas, this concludes another great podcast. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Donahoe Accounting Services, Smart Dog Solutions, Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota, Visionary Cleaners, Purple Monkey Project, and Oakley Greens. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahoe Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahoe Accounting Services. A leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our top-notch accountants strive to help resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahoe Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online, DonahoeAccountingService.com. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahoe Accounting Services. Go Bearcats.